Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 21 of the Locker Room Life podcast. Guys, I'm so excited to be here. I'm one of your hosts, Frank, with my buddy Logan. But wait, there's a third head on the screen of an intro to a new member of the Locker Room Life family, a friend of the show, and new co-host of the Locker Room Life podcast, Owen Baker, Michigan Tech Division I stud hockey player. Buddy, I can't say enough about having you here with the family, here with the boys, buzzing around, part of the Locker Room Life. Logan, I know you have a personal relationship with Owen. Kind of dive into that, having him on board.
Where do I start? Where do I begin? Hello, family and friends. One of your hosts, Logan. You guys have had the pleasure of hearing Bakes' story if you listened to a couple episodes ago. Amazing from start to finish. And I was lucky enough to meet him at public high school in, believe it or not, welding class. We just absolutely hit it off ever since then. Me and him have talked every day since 2015. Not only is him being my best friend, but also such a prolific hockey player and has so much knowledge to bring about, the current state of the game, everything. It's a no-brainer for us to keep strengthening this team at the Locker Room Life podcast. And buddy, I know we play Xbox every night, and this is just going to be another time that we talk, but I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you guys so much. I'm obviously super happy to be here. I met Frank through Logan, and like Logan said, I've known him since, 10th grade. So a lot of history, and I'm excited for things in the future.
Our mission statement with this platform is to spread the knowledge on all levels, right? And being able to have somebody like Owen who's right in the thick of it, and we call it all the time, right? College hockey, the wild, wild west right now, junior hockey, the wild, wild west. It's just good to have an offer perspective from somebody who's in the thick of it, being able to have a lot of good knowledge for the next generation, but more importantly, offer just a different mindset, a different perspective, seeing the game on the ground level right now. So you're not having to listen to us talk about our washed up careers and what we think things should be and what we think things are. But there's some legitimacy here. Owen is going to help us be legitimate. No, I'm just kidding. It really is amazing to have him on board. And we have been blessed with all the positive momentum we've been getting with the podcast thus far. A lot of growth. And a part of what we're trying to do is just be able to have a lot of great people part of this amazing mission that we're a part of. So, Owen, glad to have you, my friend.
Thank you.
That just means we don't have to hear Frank date himself anymore, guys. So, or at least as much. So it's okay. We have, to that point, and perfect segue into our amazing episode 21 already. Abbey Levy, goaltender for the Boston Fleet, just an absolute star in the PWHL for more reasons beyond just being an amazing hockey player. She's so involved in her community. She's so present and relatable for athletes everywhere, for boys and girls, for whoever you may be. She is so relatable and so understandable when you hear her story, and her genuineness shines through when she's talking about her initiatives outside of the rink. Obviously, she's a hockey player and that's who she is, but just to see that she's just such an awesome, well-rounded person, it was amazing to talk to her.
Yeah, I think the best thing about when we bring these very accomplished people on is that they're so humble. They're so down to earth, and people that are true winners, they've accomplished and won a lot in their lives. And it's always that funny thing, right? Like the more successful you are, I feel, and this is an open conversation for you guys as well. The more successful you are, I feel like it kind of brings you down to a level of humbleness also, because when you're chasing a goal and you're chasing a dream so hard, you're almost so ferocious in chasing that. And you almost have this insatiable feeling in your heart where you're like at all costs, right? But sometimes when you start to actually accomplish goals and be successful, it forces you to kind of be self-reflective and look back and be like, this is actually an amazing thing, and being in the moment. And we asked her about just winning with Team USA and being able to be part of that. And it's kind of funny, right? Like she got very quiet in the sense that you could tell that she was reflecting on that win and what it meant to her and the honor that it was, where I don't want to spoil too much about it, but she didn't even think she was going to make the team. That flex of emotion and just being able to be so humble and be so successful. Just another example of a guest that's come on and really just had a lot of great knowledge about her career, but more importantly, the molding and shaping and being a true example for the next generation of women hockey players, but also hockey players as a whole. Oh, and you listened to it. What do you think?
Yeah, I got a chance to listen to it, and she's at the pro level for a reason, right? She has a tremendous resume that she's had through hockey. And with the success she's had, you can tell how genuine she is. When you see people that they get all that success and they're still the same person, they don't change. And I think that's something that tells a story about her.
Absolutely. And one last thing, Frankie, I couldn't help but take away that amazing point that you had. When you're coming up and you're grinding and you're chasing your whole youth career, your junior career, you have that ego because you have to have it. You have to have it to defend yourself. You have to have it to whatever you may think. Being able to talk about my time stepping away from the game, I've been able to experience more wins stepping away from the game than I ever did playing hockey my whole life. And it's really been a pleasure and something that I've really found so powerful that I've been able to kind of separate my ego from my accomplishments and what I'm doing on the day to day. And that was something I couldn't do as a hockey player. And it was definitely internal and just so tenacious about chasing one goal. And I'm still the same way, but I've been able to really experience some awesome successes so far, along with you, Frankie, in your business endeavors. And you've been able to, separate the ego kind of from all of it. So that was just my point to it.
Yeah, and Abby being on the forefront of just the change and the growth of the PWHL, right? We've been fortunate to have Krista Kurth on. We've been fortunate to have Abby on, and also spoiler alert, we got a couple really good ones coming on from the PWHL as well. So just being able to grow that knowledge, that awareness, we're trying to really push the amazing growth in hockey as a whole. And to hear her talk about the PWHL from its inception all the way to where it is now, and I don't want to spoil too much about it, but the time when she talks about there was a quinceanera
All we'll
outside
say
the
is
locker.
quinceañeras.
I almost lost it. I lost it. But just being a true pioneer, Logan brings it up in the interview as well. It's looking at herself as a pioneer. I don't think she looks at herself that way, but she truly is. And living within this moment right now of being an example of not so much fanfare, but being able to be recognized and being able to be a bigger, humble figure for the next generation to grow from, boys and girls. Like the little boys are just as ecstatic to see the PWHL women hockey players than the little girls are. So I think that's awesome. It just shows you the evolution of the game.
She's such a trailblazer, and I said it in the interview. She doesn't realize it. You're 100% right. She's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? But it's the truth. She's playing on Team USA with the greatest women's hockey player ever, being Hillary Knight, and it's crazy. Along with other legends, Schofield, so many, and she's a part of that. She's a part of the start of it. So it's just an honor, a true honor to be able to talk to her and get some of her time right before the busy season starts. And I think this is a perfect segue into the next topic that we have, and it's the growth. And you brought it up there at the end, Frankie. It's the growth of the PWHL. It's been madness. It's been crazy. It's proven profitable. It's people like it, and it's good hockey. I haven't told you guys this, but my dad actually just went to Team USA versus Team Canada women's. They had some of their trial games in Cleveland, and he was like, dude, this hockey is like actually really, really good. And he didn't even mean it in like, a bad way at all. Of course, it's fast. He was like, it's very, very fast. And they're so smart. The thing that he took away the most was that they're so extremely smart with everything they do. And even the marketing side, they're loud and they're proud and they're bringing fans in and they're making money.
Bakes, what do you think?
I think it's awesome. You look at other pro sports, there's a WNBA, but other than that, it's just the PWHL, and it's only been around for a couple of years. And you've already seen, they've gotten 2 expansion teams. Arenas are sold out. It's really cool to see. And I actually played with a guy in juniors, and his dad is the coach for the Minnesota team that just won it. He's been telling me a little bit about that and how it is, and it's pretty cool to hear.
That's sick.
And just the expression of the sport, right, guys? We talk about hockey being in the right time, in the right place. The game of hockey as a whole on all levels, it's just in such a healthier spot. The NHL is doing well, which then has a trickle-down effect of college hockey being amazing, junior hockey being amazing, healthy, developmental leagues are growing every single day. But being able to be part of something like the PWHL is just, the hockey world is ready for it. And when I say that is, you look at the example of them just being themselves. And I think that's a true example where the men's game is so evolved already. It's almost like learning how to just let go a little bit, because traditionally, and we're all cut from the same cloth. You didn't want to say anything. You didn't want to do anything because it meant that you were a bad team guy. It meant that you cared about only yourself. But that leash is lessening up a little bit to where guys can be themselves. And the women's game is a true example of that, because they're coming in. This is us. They're setting the tone for who they want to be. They're just being who they are. And it's really the perfect time for it, especially in the social media age, being able to influence everybody and just be themselves. And I think that the men's game has a little bit more to kind of develop on that level, because they're getting there. No dress code, little things like that are loosening up the men's game a little bit, but it's really cool to see the women's game just letting it fly and being who they are.
It's so awesome. And I know we talked about this, but I have to ask, where do you want a PW expansion team? There's so many good places that it could be. Bakes, let me know.
Well, first off, could you imagine down the road it gets to how the NHL is like up to 32 teams? That'd be insane. You look at the major cities, there's so many options. I think it'd be cool down south or where some of these big cities are with other NHL teams, and Florida, Nashville, Dallas, things of that nature. So
Nashville would be so sick.
You know what's funny too, guys? I could actually see a women's professional league, the equivalent like in Europe too. I don't know. I've had this weird feeling where I feel like that could be because women's hockey, even in Europe as well, is growing just as rampant. And especially, like we said, in the social media age and availability to information, that it could live there. Because if you think about infrastructure, check. Fanfare, check. Could you imagine? Because you put a sport in any small town in Europe, people go bananas for it.
they love it.
I was just in Italy like 2 months ago, and these guys were kicking a soccer ball down the alley, and there must have been 1,000 people there. I was just like, what is going on right now? It was awesome. But no, I could see that. It's amazing to see the game growing on that global level. And Abby, what an amazing example for the next generation of the growth of the game.
Bakes, to your point, I want Nashville. But also Quebec would be good. Quebec would be solid. This game is just going to keep growing. And I know Bakes brought it up before. Last thing, potentially, what if there's a juniors for girls hockey? It's not a thing. And as we know, juniors is only a thing across all sports just for men's ice hockey. It's a very interesting thing. And it's an interesting conversation to have because at the end of the day, we say it all the time, hockey is a business and people want to make money. It's the only reason you start a company. It's the only reason you start a league. It's the only reason you start a team. People want to make money.
100%. For most of the girls, I think they take a gap year and they have 19U AAA, but think of the possibilities of a junior team or league across the United States to where they funnel in, kind of like how the men's ice hockey is. It'd be insane.
WUSHL.
The women's game, the awareness, the number one indicator of seeing if that is actually a possibility is if the younger generation is playing, which they are. Even if you look at 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. So being able to have women's only leagues to where you have an incubation system where they're able to grow up and being able to have incremental growth and development at high levels, more importantly, develop themselves for higher levels. So now it's college and then now pros. It's the only thing that's really missing if you think about it, because it's that developmental league. If they're not quite ready for college just yet, or with the evolution of college hockey women's adding more teams, it's just going to be the same thing that goes on with men's teams. There's only limited spots, there's only limited scholarships. So there has to be somewhere that's a prospective league that feeds up to college hockey, and potentially it's the same thing. The decision-making process, they could go right from the women's USHL, the women's junior league, right into the pros.
And to that, you brought up a point that I wanted to reference, like Annalise. Like Annalise developed in, Bakes, Annalise Bergman, goaltender in Michigan. Like she developed with the boys. She was only boys up until I believe it was she played junior hockey. Those are possibilities. And like you said, Frankie, it's growing at such a crazy rate. And I'm excited. I know we're all excited.
Bakes, we're so excited to have you part of the team. There's amazing things going to happen, like we said, in the future. We have amazing guests coming on too. Guys, we thank everybody who's taken the time to do an interview with us. We are so happy, and we're getting these episodes out weekly. So we're excited to see it and happy to have the reactions that we've gotten already. And we're so excited to have you on board, my friend.
Thank you.
Without further ado, Abbey Levy. Hope you guys enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to be joined by Abbey Levy, current PWHL goaltender for the Boston Fleet. She's achieved a lot on the ice, but more importantly, a lot of amazing projects off the ice as well. Abbey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Excited.
As we do with every interview, hockey, the game we love, right? Take us through the journey. You've had an amazing one. Scale it all the way back to the beginning. How did it start? How did you fall in love with this amazing game?
It all started watching my older brother play. He was a forward, and I would go to all of his games and cheer him on, and I just wanted to be the goalie for him, but I never had the chance to until I finally asked my dad, and he was ecstatic, just begging for that question to be asked of, can you play hockey? I got in there, and that's how I started.
That's amazing.
Oh, no, and you were born in New York, correct?
Born in New York, Islanders season ticket holders our whole lives. Parents met at an Islanders game, like hockey's in our
Wow.
blood. Yeah.
That's crazy. And then how did it go from there? I know you spent some of your youth career at Shattuck, 3 national championships. Not a big deal. It's pretty amazing. But how did everything kind of lead up to going over to Minnesota?
New York, it's not big in the girls hockey world. If you're trying to like stay with girls hockey, you have to leave. I played boys hockey growing up all in New York. And then when the time came, I moved out to Minnesota to play with the girls because guys start to hit at like age 14 and it gets a little crazy. So you kind of have to make that change at that age. So I went over to Minnesota, sadly had to leave New York, but Shattuck took my career to a new level.
So those early years to make that move from New York and just the awareness of going to Shattuck, who are some key figures that kind of helped that process along?
So I went to a camp for Shattuck when I was 12 and my dad forced me. I was crying in the back of the car. I was so homesick. I was like, I don't want to do this. Don't leave me. Like, I've never left the house before in my life. 3 days at Shattuck camp, I'm crying the whole time. And I'm like, please pick me up. Please pick me up. Wednesday comes around and all of a sudden something clicked to me. I'm like, oh my God, I love it. And the coaches came up to me and was like, would you want to like come for school? And I'm like, whoa, hold up. I just did a week. Let me live here. But my dad was like, you're doing it. No questions asked. We're sending you out there. And I didn't really have a decision. And they just did it for me. And it was the best decision they could have ever done.
Just get in the car. We're just going to go on a little trip. And then he's like, okay,
Yep.
you're at camp.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. I think he flew home to New York and then I made him fly back. I was that homesick.
I mean, that's a part of the journey. That whole process, I left when I was 15 years old to leave my house, and I was not ready for it at that point. There's so many different parallels. And what kind of made your decision to go to the next steps of Boston College, which is amazing?
So I actually committed to Minnesota State Mankato. And that happened my sophomore year of Shattuck. And my sister actually went to Mankato too. So it made that decision so easy. Like down the road from Shattuck, my sister goes there. I'm going to Mankato. I then transferred out 2 years later to go to Boston College. But Shattuck just being such an incubator for youth hockey players, on the women's side especially, it can take your career to any level you want. I was able to commit through Shattuck to Mankato, then get to BC, and it's all history now.
I want to peel the curtain back a little bit on Shattuck-St. Mary's because every kid out there who's listening wants to go to Shattuck-St. Mary's. And I formerly lived in California, and there's so many kids that was their dream. You always hear about it. It's almost like this myth that floats around the hockey world, and you're like, Shattuck, everybody wants to play there. So I need to know, describe kind of the aura of the campus, kind of like life there, because I know our younger generation would really love that.
It's the most professional you can get with the sport at that age, but even at the college level, I think it's even more professional than college. We don't go to school there. We had 2 days of school of the 7 of the week. 3 of them were just, if you need school, you can go in. But if not, go hit the ice, get coaching in, do whatever, like to get better in your sport. It's just a different level of professionalism at that age.
That's amazing.
I heard rumors. I always heard the rumblings of the only 2 days of school. And I was like, there's no way. I was like, come on.
It's true. It's true. My SAT scores took a hit because of it.
You're like, wait, I need to take this test? Really? I needed to?
Well, the worst part was I was committed to Mankato, so I didn't need the best scores. But then when I went to transfer, you got to submit your SAT scores to that school. And I'm like, oh.
You're like, I took care of this already. Can we get the admins in this? So Boston College, a great time there as well. What are some memorable moments? Because that's a historical program, a historical school as well. Kind of take us through that part of your life and kind of looking over the mountain a little bit, right? Hockey is developing at such a high elite level and really looking forward. What was your kind of mindset at BC and kind of what are some key moments that you love there?
When I decided to transfer, it was before it was cool. So COVID didn't hit yet and no one was doing it. So I went into the portal. I was scared. I didn't know who was going to take me, if I was going to just give up a scholarship and end up nowhere. But they took a chance on me. It was so hard to pass up. It's Boston. It's an elite program, like you said. It's everything a kid could dream of at that age. So I took the chance. You have to work hard. Like, you're coming in to someone else who has that position. So you got to beat them out, but you also have to be a great teammate. It's knowing your role, but also fighting for what you want. But my most memorable moments have nothing to do with hockey from Boston College. So, but it carved my career, that school.
That's awesome. And, same thing with BC as well. You hear just, how professional and how amazing it's just to be there and be on campus. But how do you think that your time at BC and your time in college prepared you for international play and professional play now?
Both the programs I went to, whether it was Mankato or Boston College, the whole coaching staff was full of people who've been through the USA program or who are currently at the USA program. So they hold you to this whole nother standard. My head coach, Katie King-Crowley, legend for USA hockey. Court Kennedy, legend for USA hockey. Even at Mankato, I had John Harrington, who was on the Miracle team. And then Sherry Bogart, who's the national team coach right now. So
Wow.
yeah, you just have like a staff that has been there and knows what to tell you, knows how to get you to that level. So it's just being blessed with such like great people in my life that were able to push me to the next level.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to we talk about all the time on this podcast, which part of the hockey journey is adversity, right? Obstacles. It's the most celebrated aspect of it, but in the moment it's tough. And especially with the younger generation listening to this podcast, what are some of the strong adversity points and obstacles that you went through with, your hockey career?
Oh, there's so many. It's every day there's an obstacle you got to face. But like, my biggest challenge was taking a risk for myself with transferring and believing in myself to better my career. It's not an easy decision when you have 4 years paid for college and you're telling your parents, hold up, I don't want that. I need something else. From their standpoint, they were so supportive and they were like, you know what, wherever you end up, we got your back. Don't worry. So just having that support system when obstacles arise, like being so truthful to them, but also leaning on people that have been there and they know what you're going through. So like, honestly, it just comes down to like believing in yourself and taking that step. Like, you're never going to go anywhere if you're not pushing for something or trying to reach something.
So well said. I can't say enough to that. And all those steps, like no one sees, the adversity that you go through being a professional athlete now where you are. It's just so awesome to be able to hear that. And we've also had the honor of interviewing a lot of people who've played for Team USA and had the honor to put the USA across their chest. What has it meant to you to be able to do that?
I didn't think it was real. That program puts you through so much mental ups, downs. You need to just have a clear mind going into it. When I was chosen for that women's national team, that same camp, I was told I'm not making the team. So I had to go the rest of that camp with a head of steel and just forgetting that they just told me I don't even have a chance. And then I look at my email and, hey, I made it. This isn't real. I'm dreaming. Something's wrong. Something's going on. So it's such a battle between the mental and the physical side. You just have to not think about it. It's crazy, but like, the more you think about it, the worse you're going to be at hockey.
Yeah, and we talk about it all the time. The mental makeup of a player is essentially the determining factor of being an average player and being great. Like, let's be honest, there is that dividing line. I feel like an elite player like you, just being able to have that different mental approach. And on that end, mentally, what is your mindset heading into games and preparation? Just, how do you prepare and how do you really just block everything out and be mentally focused on the task at hand?
There are so many outside factors that come into play with like a human being in general. You have to drive. Driving is stressful. You have to make breakfast in the morning. That's stressful. But like, when you get to the rink, it should be like a getaway from everything in your life that's just weighing on you. Yep. So that's kind of the approach I have with hockey. Like, it is my getaway. I have so much shit going on in my life. But when I get to that rink, like, this is my time to have fun. I feel like a kid again. Just being in that mental state of being a kid. Ignorance is a bliss is my favorite saying. The less you know, the better. Play your sport, have fun with it.
That's amazing. I wish I could have done that when I was a player. I got in my own head way too much. It's definitely crazy. And to see, into an elite athlete's mindset is so cool.
So 2023, you win gold with Team USA. Take us through just the feeling of being part of that group, the energy, and just something that people only dream of through the course of their life. Let us into your moment.
Honestly, like, it's weird because I was the third goaltender on that team. I didn't have any playing time. I was there to get those girls better that were needed to skate in the morning before a game. That was my role. Being able to feel like, you know what? One of those players went on early in the morning, skated with me, then they went out and they scored their goal. I helped. Just being a part of that moment, that feeling, I took it for granted a bit because it was like the first time I've ever won something like that. But I was also like, okay, this is what life's like. No, you got to do this every single year, like consistent. You got to get to this level. Nothing's handed to you in this life. So if I could go back, I would just enjoy it a little bit more. Yes, I was hammered at the end of the day. We had fun. Like, it was great. Party was awesome. But just to feel that moment, just to relive it.
For sure. And I think you're such a competitor, and that's your mindset. And you want to, be able to be there for your team in the big moments. So I can definitely see where that comes into play for sure.
That environment, right? Like you alluded to it in just making the team. It's the best of the best trying to be part of something that 1% of players could ever experience. In your mind, it's just living that day, living that day, living that day. And finally, when something amazing like that happens, you're part of that team. You're part of the best of the best. And when it happens, you're kind of like, this is amazing, but you're kind of still in this mindset of processing. And then after the fact, wow, that was amazing. I could only imagine.
Well, the best part about it was we win Worlds. We fly back to BC the next day, and it's Marathon Monday here. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's the Boston Marathon.
Boston Marathon, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's a huge party day. So we get back, and we didn't even have time to sober up. So we're just still going and going, and it's just like
keep it going.
The best. It gets to a point where the come down happens, and you're like, oh, I just did that. It's just such a great feeling. You think the whole city's cheering for you, but they're cheering for the runners. So it feels good.
Yes.
It's so awesome. And, I'd love for you to also reflect on playing in the PHL, joining the PHL, and being a part of such an awesome and big movement right now in hockey. It's so powerful, and you're such a big name within the game too. So it's so awesome.
We were definitely the pioneers when that league started. There were hiccups. There were things that needed to be changed. I came from a market like New York where we were playing in Bridgeport, but practicing in Stamford, and then had some games at the Islanders UBS. And we were kind of everywhere. A lot of moving pieces, but we were just so happy it was finally there. A league for women where this is something that is going to last for a long time. We knew like there were going to be bumps and bruises being the first of the first. So It was a lot, but it was like, this is great. There's just opportunity for growth.
Yeah, we were fortunate to have Krista Kurth, and she just is amazing. And just being able to be part of the forefront of just the evolution and the growth of the PWHL. The topic of growth, what are the biggest changes that you've seen since the inception of essentially what you were part of now into the exciting movement that's happened and kind of what's currently happening?
Well, fortunately, coming out of college, I was on that U.S. national team, and I've had that experience. So I know what the standard is for women and NHL people at this point, because we get to train with some NHLers as well. We know their standards. When you have a league that just starts, you have to get that league to that standard. Fortunately for me, going into it, I know that standard. A lot of kids didn't know, like, if a meal's scheduled at 3, it comes out at 3:15, that's a problem. Because we want to be the best of the best. But for me, I'm just like, I don't care. It's food. Food comes whenever it comes. To build that league into the best of the best, it has to be a certain way, and we have to get it there.
It's been so awesome to watch too. I love watching the games. I love watching all the highlights. How has it been to, be in the game with all of these awesome female players? It's just so surreal, honestly.
It's a feeling like you dream of as a kid, but you dream of it as this is the NHL. Like when I was a kid watching, I was like, I want that moment, but it's going to be with the Islanders. But that's not real. So now to have kids look at us and be like, I'm going to have that moment, and it's going to be in a Boston jersey. It's going to be the Boston Fleet. It's an experience that we never had growing up, but I'm so glad the younger generation gets something to look forward to and just be able to have what we have.
Such a great point. And we're big on inspirations, right? We had a lot of key figures in our lives that support us through our hockey career. I'm not even going to mention the fact that I played goalie too, because you're 10 times better than me. So I just left that off. I left it off, Abby. So I'm not even going to bring it up. But inspirations and kind of, big things that you looked up to, because again, like you said, you're a pioneer. And I think being able to, at that point, you're currently paving the road for the next generation. But at that time, who were your inspirations?
Being a season ticket holder at the Islanders, we had our tickets right on the glass in Nassau Coliseum. So it was right staring at the goalies. So all my inspirations are those years of goalies coming through. So it started out Rick DiPietro. As much as people hate him,
I played against him. You played for
I was going to
USC.
ask if it was him.
you played against him?
I did. I'm old. I played in the
Wow.
USHL back in 90. Rick DiPietro, quick story, sorry.
Oh,
Rick DiPietro
God, here he goes.
Rick DiPietro played for, at the time, was playing for the U.S. National Development Team. I was playing for Des Moines. He was amazing. And everybody obviously knew, but we didn't know he was going to go first overall. And then he signed that massive contract, and and he's still being paid to this day. It's a legacy story. Anyways,
Good for him. Good for him. But it was him. He was the one that I looked at as a kid on the glass, pressed up, just staring.
Yeah.
And then it's just every other goalie that came through. Those were my inspirations as a kid. But now young girls are going to have me to look up to, or other girls in the league. And it's just such a cool moment. We were signing things the other day, and there were little boys so excited to meet
That's
us.
awesome.
This is crazy.
To that same point is, where do you see the PWHL in the next 5 years?
It's going to grow. It's going to be the NHL for women. What the WNBA has now, marketing Caitlin Clark and doing all these things, that game has grown so much. It's just going to be that one thing that takes off. If it's tomorrow, if it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's going to be around. They've built something so solid, all thanks to the people who took over the league, like Kendall Coyne, Sarah Nurse, Hillary Knight, all those players. They started something amazing, and it's going to play out the rest of the time.
Legends.
We're so excited to see the growth, and I think the biggest thing that I was excited to bring up was this amazing community project that you did in Brooklyn. I want you to kind of take the reins on this, because it's amazing. It's just so powerful. You could tell in the video, and I'm gonna get emotional just talking about it, but it was just really, really cool. So I'd love for you to kind of discuss the whole project.
It's definitely the best thing I've ever done in my career. Favorite moment of my lifetime, probably. Basically, my mom teaches a classroom. She's a teacher. She's been a teacher her whole life, always giving back to the community. She teaches kids that are less fortunate, have some sort of disability, and she just always is giving back. I was like, what better chance to give back to her? I'm in my hometown. Let me ask and see if her kids can design my helmet for me. And
so awesome.
The moment I asked her, I'm going to remember this the rest of my life, her voice just shook, and it was, really? You want to do that? I was like, oh my gosh, yes, now I need to do it. This is happening. So I took the day, went in with the kids, and then they came up with an amazing helmet. And it's only inspiring me to do another thing like that this year.
Yeah. I was just jealous because a lot of those kids' drawings were better than mine. I'm a plug at drawing. I was like, that kid drew a good piece right there. That's just a good drawing.
You don't want to see mine. My goodness.
To this day, I still wear the helmet right now, and everyone asks about it. It's just so cool.
That's amazing. The state of the women's game, I know we briefly talked about it, but what is your assessment of where it is right now? Because you've seen it through a lot of different cycles of growth, through development. What is your opinion on the state of the women's game right now?
I think it's at just a great spot when it comes to what we're doing on the social side and the marketing side of a sport. You don't see the men showing the personality like the women do. They have built stories around us. Fans are so excited to learn more and watch us because we're just our true selves. The men's game definitely lacks it. I feel bad for these guys. They cannot show their true colors. And it sucks. That's something the women's game is doing so well, is we're just being our true selves. And I think that's the biggest part of women's sports, and why it's growing so fast is because people want to watch someone they can relate to.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Me and Frank talk about that literally all the time. We were on the phone. I was walking across campus at university, and I said, some of these guys are just like robots. And, the people who aren't, like a Matthew Tkachuk, is being marketed everywhere because he's a personality and he's awesome to listen and talk to and all of those things. So I completely do agree with you on that. But from its inception to now, what are some of the improvements that you've seen throughout the time being in the PWHL?
Improvements, I would say, coming from a market like New York, I played there for 2 years, these past 2 years, and just what they've tried to do over there with moving location. They started out in Connecticut. Facilities were not great. Like there was a quinceanera outside of our locker room one day. Like it was, it was
Clip it.
like it was not the setup we needed, but they didn't know that because it's a new league. It was tough. So now they were in Jersey and they're trying out Jersey and they're playing and like practicing at the old Devils practice facility. So now they have a great setup. So like it's only getting better. As long as it's continuing to like be better for the women athletes, it's going to go to a remarkable place.
Abby, I wanted you to talk about the city of Boston. I mean, you spend a lot of time there. I love it. I've been a handful of times, but I want you to talk about the city of Boston and just the love, and I'm sure you love living there and being there, and you've been there for so long. So kind of shed some light on that.
Okay, so I'm definitely a New Yorker at heart.
Yeah.
And I know Boston and New York, they kind of butt heads a bit in the sporting world, but I freaking love Boston. I think it is an amazing city. It's full of fun, sports. You got everything here. College wise, college bars, amazing. The college atmosphere with all the hockey teams here. It's a city of hockey for sure. I'm never going to say New York's not at that level, but Boston just does it to a different degree.
I lived in Boston for a little bit. Frank knows I'm biased to Boston. I love Boston.
Have you ever done time in New York?
I have. I had never stayed in New York, but I've visited NYC, visited up in the other areas, but I love Boston. Like my favorite city in the United States.
Yeah, it's so fun.
What I like about Boston is it's almost like a big city that's compressed into a smaller, more intimate setting. So it has everything that a big city has, but it's kind of compressed and shorter. Even the transit system, right? You're moving like from Harvard Square and you're moving, everything is nice and compact. So you can see everything and there's just enough stuff to do, but it's kind of in a digestible like piece where you're not having to do it in New York, because New York is it's a different animal right there.
You put that perfectly, by the way.
Yes. Getting back to the mental side of the game, I mean, it's such a big part, especially of our podcast, but also the next generation of players that want to know just how you approach games. But, setbacks, especially as a goaltender, when things happen that the switch needs to be flipped, like how's your approach to that side of the game?
I have some great things that I just live by, and it's the world goes round. Hockey's not life. It is a part of my life, but it is not my whole life. If I have an opportunity to get away from the rink, go do something to take my mind off of it, I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a bad practice here and there. I'm going to have a shit game. Like that's life. Everyone goes through it. It's how you're able to react after it and who can throw it away in their trunk and drive off. Those are the ones that succeed in life. You just got to let it go. It's in the past. I kind of live by that. Like world goes round. There's always going to be something else outside of it. So just have fun with it now. Let it go.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. We have to talk about this pad set that's going viral right now. Okay. We were so excited when this came out because we're like, we're having Abby on. This is going to be perfect time to talk about this.
Abby, I've seen the pad sets from Mankato to BC at USA, at the Sirens, at the Fleet. It's all just amazing.
Which one's your favorite?
I have to say the most recent one. The colors are insane.
They are
the cityscape with the colors.
Really like the USA ones. I really like the USA one.
Logan's wearing his USA t-shirt under his shirt right now.
I hit it.
Inspiration for pads and everything. Let us know what's inside I know you're a little bit of an artist in that brain. What draws your inspiration for fun things like that?
Okay, so the first year Bauer came out, the DigiPrint opportunity, I think it was Hendrik Lundqvist for a Stadium Series pad. It was like something clicked in my brain. Oh my God, the time is now. Now I can do this. Ever since then, every team I go to or every team I'm about to go to, it's the first thing in my head. I'm thinking about it all summer. I'm like, what are we laying out? What are we doing? What's the color scheme? It's a huge part of my game, which to anyone else is like, why? Why is that a huge part of your game? It is something so important to me. It's just a great opportunity to grow the game and like have people learn something new too. You see pads like that, you're like, what the hell is that sport? That's kind of like what I want people to do. I just want people to be shocked. Like, wow, okay.
I know this may be a touchy question, but what are your favorite pads that you've had?
Favorite pads? Okay, the USA ones are really cool. because that was the first time I kind of took a crazy approach with a drip over stripes. It was definitely a crazier approach. But this year's with this water background, oh my gosh. In person, like I can't stop staring at it. There'll be players coming down on me and like I'll make the save and I'll take an extra second just to look at the color scheme.
Ooh, I look good.
Like, this looks nice.
We're big on look good, play good on this podcast. We talk about it all the time to death. Even when we went to the media day for the USHL, that was one of our main questions. Style no-nos, just getting the guys to really comment on that. So we 100% are on board with you that you got to look good to play good. And just like we talked about it, I think it's nice to see hockey opening it up a little bit, even it's on the NHL level, like no dress code, just being able to let the players be who they are. I think it's going to take a little bit because, just things were a little bit more traditional. So being able to see the guys show their personalities, it's going to be fun. And I can't wait to see it.
It's going to be awesome. I hope they're all like ready for it because it's going to be great.
There's been some guys already throwing some nice fits. Of course, Willie Styles with throwing some awesome outfits together. But you're right on the whole marketing aspect. You guys have set a standard in the PWHL that you guys are very marketable and you guys are going to continue to be marketable and also high level of gameplay. So it's so cool. And I need to go to a game. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, so I'm not close to any, but I need to go to a game.
Ohio State's really good women's hockey team.
Yes, I've been to a lot of their games. They are amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, Abby, we're going to loosen it up a little bit. Just have some fun with some rapid fire questions, Hopefully get you on your toes a little bit, but get some fun answers. So first question, the first goalie mask you ever owned, and what was the design on it? Better question.
It was an iTech back in the day. iTech. And I played for a team called the Pearl River Predators. So it was a Nashville Predator design by like Dave Art. Like, do you know who Dave Art is?
Yeah,
I do.
He's one of the best NHL artists of all time. And he actually designed my iTech mask. So yeah.
That's so awesome.
That's awesome. This is an interesting question. Do you remember the first save that you ever made? Do you remember how old you were, where you were, real or fake, too?
First save I ever made. Oh my God, no. I remember watching film of myself though, and I was terrible. If I was my parents, I don't know how I kept buying gear for that kid. I would have told them to hang it up, do anything else. But I don't even think I made saves back in the day like that.
You're like, wait, I gotta stop this thing? Like I thought I was just here looking good with my iTech. One influential figure that you'd want to have dinner with.
Like anyone?
Anyone.
Oh, geez. Lady Gaga.
Ooh, that's a good one.
If your mask could tell a story, what do you think its title would be?
The tattoos I never got.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Vicariously living through your mask. I love it.
Yes.
When you're at home relaxing, what's one TV or show that you're throwing on and just lets you this is chill mode?
It's Family Guy. That's my hangover Sunday show too. Like that makes me just go back to ground myself.
Go-to artist on the pregame playlist.
I listen to the big booty mixes. I don't really do one song. It's like a whole mix.
That's a consistent, Abby, across the board on all levels. Like even the USHL guys, they're into that. It was bumping when we were there in Pittsburgh, so it just gets you going, right?
And it's easy. You don't gotta every 3 minutes find a new song.
Yeah, it's just banger after banger.
Yeah.
All right, I know that you are a professional athlete and you take care of yourself, and diet is a huge part of that. But when you're cheating, what's your go-to cheat meal?
Have you guys ever had Raising Cane's?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the go-to.
Yeah.
That's the go-to.
Sauces, it's all over the place.
That or Dunkin' Munchkins. Those are so good.
Yeah. I grew up on Tim Hortons, the little tidbits, so I'm right there with you.
So Canadian.
If you had to play skater, what position would you play?
Defense. I actually got to do a scrimmage the other day with Tuukka Rask, who was my defenseman.
Ooh,
and
yes.
Bergeron was shooting. And Tuukka, I think thought he was playing goalie and tried to stop it with his stick and tipped it in. But in the moment, I was just I want to be him so bad. I just want to be a defenseman at this point. Live my career and go play D.
Dream travel destination that you haven't been yet.
Hawaii.
That you want to go. Beautiful.
And the last one, Frankie, ask it.
The next generation, Abby, what's one piece of advice that you want to give the next generation that is inspired by you looks up to you, and really just wants to be where you are.
Ah, geez. Have fun. I mean, just enjoy it. Settle down, relax. It's a journey. It's a long one. Enjoy every moment.
I love it. There you go. Abbey Levy, thank you for joining the Locker Room Life podcast. That was so much fun. We are so blessed, so fortunate to have such amazing people that thus far have supported us through this journey of the reason why Logan and I started this was because we're former players. We had a lot of unfinished business on the playing level, but we feel like it's a calling to help build the hockey community, and especially with amazing people like you. More importantly, the achievements that you made on the ice, but the difference that you're making in the community to inspire the next generation, but also on the community, such as the projects that you're doing. So thank you so much for joining us, and we can't say thank you enough for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You guys were awesome. Great questions, too.
Can't say thank you enough. It's just such an honor to be able to talk to you and really get a sight into your elite athlete mind, but just talk to you on a human level. It's so important to us, and it's amazing. And thank you again.
Of course, anytime.
Thank you so much for Abbey Levy taking the time, joining the Locker Room Life boys, and again, sharing a lot of funny stories about her journey. You know what I forgot too, Logan, was the story when her dad dragged her to camp at Shattuck-St. Mary's. I was actually dying laughing when I heard that, but Abby's amazing. She's about to start up here for the Boston Fleet. Such an amazing career, and we're so honored to have her part of the Locker Room Life. Also, special thank you to Krista Kurth, her agent, Laura Athletes, an amazing agency, top in the PWHL. You guys go check them out too. But Abby is one of her athletes. She's amazing, and can't thank her enough for coming on.
Best of luck to Abby this year, and it was a pleasure getting to listen to her interview.
I can't agree enough. It was amazing. As I said enough in the pre-interview, she's so awesome, and it really shines through in the interview. And we're so glad that we could just be able to use our platform to showcase how much of an awesome person she is outside of the rink. And we're always so proud of that. And that's always a part of our mission every single day. And it just wouldn't be permitted or possible or even allowed without our amazing, amazing sponsors of the Locker Room Life podcast, Buddy Hockey Club, Best Damn Tape, Bambino Shave Cream, Cut Shield Hockey. We thank you all so, so much. And we're so grateful for every single one of you who listen every single week. That's another wrap on an amazing episode.
Love you guys.
See ya.